Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, no answers for anything.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
What's going on?
Just sat down to play some relaxing Witcher and
What?
the usual. What about it?
There's nothing relaxing about that game. I just want to throw that out there. Like,
Do what?
being in constant danger of being murdered by monsters,
That is,
and or having the anxiety of making the wrong story choice. Not.
oh my gosh, yes. I cannot tell you how many times I've looked up on different storyboards and be like, am I making the right choice? What is this the best outcome for me? And people are like, does it matter? Like, yes, of course it matters.
Yeah, it does. Got to save all the people. Right.
Trying
Some
to.
of them it doesn't matter, but right, like I don't care about.
I just want
Also,
people
some
to-
of them I just want to see what happens in
yeah.
their story, so I don't want to like end it too early because then you just don't get to see the rest of it. You're like, oh, that
Yeah.
ended weirdly because it died. And you're like, ah, there was probably more digging. I
Yes,
messed
very
up.
much. But no, I literally got home like 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago, and so it has been extremely busy with people go back, kids go back to school, and more calls, and I think it was the first time in 2 weeks I haven't gotten the case, so I'm actually slowly starting to catch on some stuff. But this week in particular, like Monday, I didn't get home until about like 11 o'clock. Tuesday, I got home at like 6. Tonight, I got home at like 8 something. So they're piling up, and it's just been one after the other. But time for some Witcher action.
Kind of like Susan, that's how she's been going too. She's been getting home at 7:30, 8 o'clock every day, doing all that great stuff. So, yeah, fun. No,
Goats.
we had we've been doing a lot more meetings this week, right? But we have a lot of like downtime, like where you can just like work on stuff because last year the state of Missouri passed some sort of law that was like, no, you cannot start school until this day.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Whatever. So that was cool. I'm glad that they care and can pass laws on that, but not like other useful things. Thanks a lot, guys. So like this time last year, this has been the end of my first week of school already. But no,
Wow,
next week, next Tuesdays we start. So I've had all this time, right? This last week, so it's just been in service, talking about like special education stuff and meeting with my learning team, right? The science team, and I talked to the social studies team today, and it's like all this random junk, trying to get all those last minute deals done, right? But we were supposed to have at some point this week some sort of training on this online learning thing that we have now for any kids that are going virtual for the first quarter, or
Oh, right.
in the case that we have to go virtual, we have this school has bought or partnered with this company. I guess they bought subscriptions. I guess that's how it works actually. To this online learning, and this is nobody at the school's fault. Just want to make that known. If anybody at my school is listening to this, I know it's not you. Go for it. The company, like, apparently was just like blowing everybody off. I was supposed to have tomorrow off. Okay, I was supposed to work Monday through Thursday. I called it on Tuesday, by the way. I'm gonna have to come in Friday for this nonsense, aren't I? I'm gonna have to be here Friday. I know it. So yesterday, I found out. Oh yeah, they're actually not gonna be able to meet with us until Friday at 3:00. Friday from 3 to 5. I'm good. What? I know we're not a big school, so that puts us very low on the priority list because you're not getting as much of our money, you jerk faces. But what the heck, man? 3 to 5 on a Friday when we start school on a Tuesday? Come on. What's the matter with you? Why do you suck so bad?
So it sounds like any IT program. It's like, oh, we'll be with you between 11 to 7 p.m. So
here's the fun part. They're not actually coming to our building anyway. It's like a virtual thing, right?
Yeah,
it's like a virtual
training for virtual training.
Yeah, but like they don't even have to schedule a time to come down to see us. And they still put us at 3:00 on Friday. Bro, what? I know that this is an unusually busy year for virtual learning providers, but also, what the heck? We've known about this. We contracted with these people like a month ago. Okay. Wait. Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of. They should have given. They should have at least given you some better heads up as opposed to.
Yeah.
You know, if they needed to change it, sure, fine, understand that, but not.
Yeah.
So last
Again,
minute.
I know priorities is a small school who's not giving you very much money. Low priority customer, right? But still, come on. I also learned very many exciting things about the world of virtual learning. The economics of virtual learning this week, because they were talking about the options. And some of them are like those ones you see on TV, right? Like, oh, free online school, right? You know those ones? If you've watched TV in the past 2 months, you've seen 872,000 times.
Yeah.
Well, little insider tip Areno I discovered. So on free online education, it's not a thing. So the way that it works is like, just take our school for example. If we have a kid in our district that does that, all the money that the state gives the school per student, right? So there's a certain, based on student population and lots of other factors, the state allocates X number of dollars per student for the school. And that's where the state money comes into play for schools, right? Well, if that student goes to like an online thing, the school actually has to pay for it. So they just basically turn around and take that dollar amount that comes from the state, and they turn around and they throw it back out to this company, right? Like all of it, which I thought was a bit insane, right? It's a huge. It's almost all the money, which is interesting because, like, I get it. They're now basically in your quote unquote school, right? But because they live in the district, the actual physical school still has to provide that student with special services if they need them, or extracurricular services. They're still allowed to participate in those things. So, but all the money goes away, which is intriguing. The super intriguing part is if that online schooling deems that the student is not making adequate progress, 100% of the bill reverts to the parents.
Oh.
And they're now on the hook for paying for it. Yeah. I learned that new fact today. That was interesting.
How are they even able to do that?
I don't know. They're basically, if they're not making adequate progress, they basically just like kick them out and say, sorry. And then the school then Yeah, the company determines it because they have teachers on staff and everything, right? So if they deem that student is not making adequate progress, basically, they just bill the parent instead somehow. This is all very shady and very bizarre.
Yeah.
Very
And I was like, wait. So does that mean the school gets the money back? I don't really know how this works.
Probably
Or they might
not.
defer payment till the end of the semester, right? Because it's per year. So like X number of dollars per student per year is what a public school gets.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, learn that if your student is not making whatever magical number that private institution deems not adequate, which there's not really any way of telling what the number is, and because they're a private entity, they can just kind of make it up.
Oh no, they can just say that it's proprietary, right? That this is
Yeah.
proprietary to our calculations in our business, so we can't tell you.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, they can just make it up, right?
Oh yeah.
They can say,
no, it totally
whatever,
is. Yeah.
whatever mystical formula they devise, right?
But
Yeah.
I don't.
Then they
understand-
just say, oh no, parents are responsible now.
But I don't understand why
Sorry.
they have that. Why they would even bother? Like, if they're getting money from the state,
no idea.
Right? Like, I'd be more willing to just keep every student in there because the state is going to pay me. Not every parent is going to be able to pay me. That just seems like more hassle and headache.
Yeah, I don't
right?
know.
Like,
I have
that
no
just seems
idea.
so
I was like, what?
weird.
Are you kidding? That's ridiculous. So yeah, our superintendent was talking about that, and we were all like, "What?" Because the reason that we contracted with this other specific company, the one that is putting us all to the last minute, is because it's like, it's basically it's not like an online school like those other ones are. It's like a online learning provider, which is kind of
Sure.
different. So
Yeah.
like, if I have a student that goes virtual, I go to their website, use their resources,
Mhm.
and send those to the student because they're already built for online.
Yeah.
So the reason that we went with that was because it's significantly cheaper to do that. Right.
Right.
We can just earmark money from the stuff and do that. But yeah, I was like, are you kidding? 100? Like the bill just goes to the parents. So if your kid's like making a C or whatever, they're like, oh, not good enough, buy out.
That's
Like,
I
heck?
it really like genuinely makes me angry.
Yeah, I was really confused. Like, what on earth? Why would you do that? What? I don't know. I had lots more questions, but after learning those facts, I was very like, wow, those things are such a scam.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like, that's my biased opinion as a public education person. So that's what. But yeah, so that's been my fun-filled, exciting week. Is not knowing what this magical thing is, or how in the world I'm supposed to use it, or what the heck to do with it.
Do you even know
next
if you
week
have
when school
students that
starts?
have taken that option?
Yes. So the board met last Monday, this Monday, I guess, and they approved we had some students sign up for that, and it had to be approved by the board because we got paid for it, obviously. So whether or not they did, and they approved a bunch, not like a bunch, but like several. So I think we in sixth grade have one. So, but that I don't know what it means. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information now.
Yeah.
Because the biggest problem is like, so we don't have access to this website yet, right?
Oh.
What?
The administrators do, because they got training like last night, I guess, basically, or yesterday evening or something. The administrators got some training on it, but the staff doesn't have access to it. So like all I can do is go to their like homepage and look at the like preview thingy, which is super unhelpful for me. But I can look at their course like pacing guide, kind of, which is just basically a topic list of how each course breaks down. And they don't match mine, the one that I have that I do normally. Yeah. So this is because they're based on the state of Missouri guidelines, right? That's fine. So are mine. But I have met with like the 5th grade and the 7th and 8th grade teachers, and we've kind of developed a sequence that we put the standards in, right? So you can take these standards and you could put them in really whatever order you want, as long as you get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So our sequence for we'll take the like what would normally be considered middle school, like 6, 7, 8. Like the way that our school has developed that with me and the 7th and 8th grade science teacher is different than what this thing is. So like I don't know how to change that, because a lot of the stuff in the 6th grade is actually stuff that she teaches because it fits better with what she does. Because she does a lot of the like physics things, you know, and then she uses like space to kind of bring that all together, right? Because that makes sense to me. If you're talking about motion and forces and temperatures and all that stuff. Then she does the space unit, where I do a lot of like earth science, like, you know, plate tectonics, weather systems, throw a little bit of ecology in there. That's not what this thing has. They have like my whole, like the 6th grade, their whole first semester is like space based, which is not helpful for me. So I need to know how much of this I can grab from other things and just pull around, but I have no idea. And school starts Tuesday.
Wow.
Well, you've always.
I also
liked
don't have
learning on
questions
the go
like
in last minute.
I mean, yeah, I don't care, but like other people are going to be. Well, I mean, I kind of care because like I'm responsible for putting these grades in, and I don't have a place to do that. Like my grade book is like geared and set up for all the students that will be seated in my class. So all those grades do not match whatever the virtual kids are going to be doing. So I need to know what to do with the grades I'm giving the virtual. Where do I put those? Where does it go? How do I count that? There's no place in my grade system currently for that to be. Yeah, it's exciting. I have no answers for anything.
Oh,
I asked a whole bunch of questions yesterday, and I got from like the principal, we don't know. I'm like, oh, okay. Cool.
yeah, great. That's my favorite place to be in.
Like, is there online support for non-English speakers? We don't know. Oh, okay.
Oh, geez.
Because, like, you know, or what about online support for special education? Nope. Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds fun.
So
okay. Well, I mean, I guess hopefully it's hopefully you're in a better position than you were at the end of last semester.
Well, I mean, yes, because allegedly there's things that I can just like give them.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But again, I have questions about pacing. Like, to what extent does whatever is on this thing need to match my seated kids are doing? In case, you know, at Christmas time, you know, let's say in January, the online students come back. Because that's an option. So,
Yeah.
to what extent am I responsible for keeping the pacing relatively similar? Right? What that pacing then gets thrown off if I have online students doing something, and then let's just say my seated students let's just pretend I have to go virtual for a month. Right. There goes my pacing. Bye. Like, what does that do for everything?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, how you ensure consistent experiences. And
Yeah. Or at least
things-
relatively, because I know it'll be
Right.
different, but like,
Right.
what do we do? How much of that do I do? Or even more confusingly, let's pretend we have to be out for 2 weeks. And then a month later we have to be out for 2 more weeks or something like that. Right. Either the amount of breaks we end up having to take or the duration of these breaks is really going to affect the pacing and the sequence of what's happening. And so,
Sure.
So I don't have answers.
Shocking.
And I just don't want to get yelled at mostly, so I don't know. I don't know.
Please don't yell at me. Please.
Don't shout at me. I'm just here. I don't know. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
So that's been my week.
Oh,
Really fun and confusing.
nice. Megan and I are trying to rebrand our pet sitting thing.
Oh,
And you want to talk about confusing and like really hurts my brain. Like it genuinely does. We don't.
so first of all, I guess why?
Well, we're moving to making a website and doing some promotions here in town, and wanting to have a little bit more just visual presence amongst our existing clients, and so we need something. Like we haven't had anything really. I mean, we've really gotten by on just like purely word of mouth is really what we've done, right? So we're trying to make this push, and so we're starting from nothing, and it's like my brain does not work like in this at all. This creating a visual representation of a feeling and emotion, and to represent the type of clients that we want. Like I do not think that way at all.
So I have your solution. You go on Fiverr and you get a graphic designer.
So, well, no, but here's the problem. So I did look at Fiverr, and many of them were like, "I'll do 2 revisions. I'll do 3 revisions."
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I'm like,
okay.
no, I don't think you understand how.
Yeah, this is Collin.
Much of a-
1,700 revisions.
How much of a pain I am going to be for you. So I mean, it's to the point where we were like, well, what colors do we want? And then you watch these branding things and they're like, yeah. So they go, well, what kind of clients do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what does it have to do with
I don't know.
And,
clients with dogs. I mean,
and
wait,
money,
what?
preferably. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so we narrowed that down to like we want more affluent clients. We want people that want a sense of family and things like this, blah blah. We did all those stupid like word association things, and then they're like, "What kind of feelings do you want your clients to have?" And I'm like,
security,
like their dogs,
happiness,
right?
That's
So
a good-
then, like, so we wandered in the woods, and then we broke down and bought this thing. It's called Brand in a Box, and it walks you through all of those questions. And then it helps you take these words, and then it starts matching those with color palettes. right?
Oh my goodness.
And right, and so
I would have just gone to the local college and been like, "Yo, you got any graphic design students up in here? I need to talk to them."
it just probably should
Hook
have.
me up, guys.
It's like it's a whole thing for branding because they're like, you need at least 5 to 6 colors, one grounding color,
5 to
and
6.
call to action color, and like you need these.
What is a
muted colors.
call to action color?
It's the color. It's the color that you. The only time you use it is when you're trying to draw attention to things like buy now or sale or urgent, last minute request.
I would like to inform you that McDonald's has 2 colors.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I know. And so here's the thing too, of like, we are friends with people in the pet sitting business. A guy started 10 years ago, literally got onto Word and like, it's a black background with a white outline of a dog with a leash on it. And he's called Dan's Dog Walking. And he now is
simple,
huge.
Direct.
Yeah. And so
goes beautifully on a t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
You got to think about printing costs, right?
Printing
you don't want that many colors. Drives your cost up.
But see, like logo colors are not the same thing as brand colors, and brand fonts are not the same thing as logo fonts. And that's the other thing too, is that we started to get into fonts. And I have nothing to give to any of this. And it's very frustrating to Megan because she's like wanting to get this done. She's like, let's be snappy. Let's get this done. And I'm like, you want me to be able to pick a font? Like, what? I have used Arial and Times New Roman for the past million years that I've been writing.
Times New Roman it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But of course they're like, no, Times New Roman, you can't do that. And so
no, Times New Roman. It says dependable. Right? That's what it is. It's a workhorse, traditional, dependable. That's good, Aaron. I like that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing is that one of the exercises that they had you do was like describe, like if your business was a home, what kind. I just follow with me on this. Like, what kind of styling would the home be? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to use certain keywords that are linked to
that's
colors.
A really.
Right, so
that makes sense if you're thinking about like decor, right? I see what they're doing. Yeah, decor,
exactly.
color palette.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying
like,
exactly. They're trying to get you into that mindset.
Statement is like, what?
That's like, well, did I tell you guys like when the state
Victorian
when our town was like if our
mine
town
would be
was
like
person,
Winchester House. That would be
right. No, like with our town is going through a rebranding, and they were like, if our town was
that was last week. Last week's episode.
Yeah. So here's this rebranding stuff coming up again. And anyway, and then I'm having to go.
This is what started, Aaron. That's why.
No, it's been going on for a long time. And because I'm like, I want upscale. I want them to think of like a luxury service of like the value that we're providing here of like very personable, very one-on-one. And I told Megan when we were going through these color palettes, I was like, I guarantee you in those color palettes, because we were talking about like sophisticated luxury,
like black and
modern,
white, gray,
black, white, and gold and red. Like I was like,
gold and red. Oi.
Well, I told her because there were a couple different color palettes that matched this. I was like, I guarantee you, there's going to be red, a gold, and a black somewhere amongst these 3 that you're picking. And she got really quiet, and she was like, is that like a bad thing? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, no, I can't. I'm not doing gold and black just because I said luxury. That's so, vomit. So we start to look through.
As a person who's currently wearing a t-shirt from the school they work at that's black and gold, I take great offense to this.
No, I'm saying
hoity-toity attitude you're taking here to my
I am saying it because it's linked to the words luxury,
I'm
right?
just kidding.
I am saying,
is it like the really like flourish script font, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
luxury,
exactly. All this stuff, and I'm like,
calligraphy.
So then Megan was like, fine. She started to get really angry at this point. She was like, fine. Here's the entire color palettes. Scroll through, and I was like, oh no, you did not need to do this to me, because there's like 80 pages of color palettes,
and like half of them are like just one tiny shade from each other.
Well, no, some of them are like, some of them are more muted, some of them are bright and vibrant, some of them are, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm looking at these and I'm like, well, now all of a sudden what I start to do is I start to pick the colors that I like, but not necessarily don't represent like clients and feelings and emotions, because I immediately go to where's the ones that are basically all like shades of gray. That's what I want. I want all muted. I want shades of gray.
That's not very exciting.
Not very exciting. And Megan was like, "You've got," or I was like, "Where are the blues and tans and browns?" She was or greens. So we went through all of this and finally picked on something that like we kind of liked, and I'll send that to you now. The listeners are going to have to just ignore this segment, but we picked these, and then we hired a graphic designer. He's from England, to start sending us stuff, and he was like, okay, like how would you describe? He has 5 questions. He's like, what's the name of your business? And we were like, it's Funky Bunch Pet Care. He's like, what do you do? I'm like, we provide pet services, dog boarding, pet sitting, daycare. He's like, do you have an old logo? And we were like, nope. He's like, do you have a tagline? Nope. And he was like, what elements do you want in it? And my first reaction was like, that's why I hired you, to put elements in this. I don't know.
He's just going to design it to make him look nice. You got to tell him what.
So I was like, maybe a dog in a house and cat like in a house, since we do like more like house stuff, but like really simple, nice, clean and modern, not overly detailed or not animated. And that's all I told him. And he responded with, wow, that was the shortest response I've gotten from anybody. And I'm like, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad. Because then he sent this. I'm texting this to you guys.
Yes, I imagine that.
Yeah. Did you get the
that's
color palette?
It's a color palette. Yeah, that's
So that's the one.
This looks like a makeup color palette. This is an evening. This is an evening makeup color palette.
See that they
all, what this is, listeners. We have. Hold on. I can't. There's like a light. There's like a darkish blue, a very light green teal, almost if like a. And then there's a mauve, and then a kind of a dark maroon. So this is like an evening eye.
It is
an evening eye color palette. Don't judge me. Words... I know Aaron's judging me right now because I've said these words, but
see the words here though, like the style, like we're trying to come off as like sophisticated, like not luxury. I gave up on luxury because this branding packet that we did, everything that had luxury had freaking gold in it, and I was like, I'm not doing.
But if you do the script font, right? That would be that's luxurious.
No, but then that's I also
will say.
Listen,
I will say in the other image you sent us, the top 2 icons are definitely from almost like every single like vet clinic.
Yes,
that's true. Especially the top left one. Yeah.
It's
always
single pet care has a dog and a cat and a freaking heart. Every single one of them.
I mean, these don't have a heart to.
Then the bottom 2,
like you change it up and have...
the bottom 2 are right out because he split the name. It's Funky Pet Bunch Care in a house in the middle. No, thank you. No, thank you.
You don't want to end up with the meme with the cat and the lady yelling at each other.
I don't. Right. I don't want to be in that meme. Why would you? I got so like I saw red when I saw this. I was so angry, and Megan was like, "Well, you didn't. We didn't tell him a whole lot." And I was like, "I get that. I understand." Fair. But now I have to come to him, and he responded, and he was like, "Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like." And I was like, "Oh no, here it starts." like I was like, I genuinely don't like anything about any of these. Like I don't like the house styling. I don't like the cats, the dog and cat. The 2 dogs at the bottom kind of look like male reproductive organs. Like
wow,
the dog and cat aren't even centered inside the house. It's not like
that's because they're cozying up to each other.
The top ones, you can't even tell that those are a house. It's kind of like a weird pentagon thing going on there. Like no hearts. I don't like that the font is all lowercase. I don't like that the font is matching. I need two different fonts here to spice things up, not just one bold and one thin. I don't really like the fact that the dog and cat also match the color of the text. Like we need different colors here. The two houses, they're pretty bland and boring. They're nondescript. Sure, like they're simple, but they're not necessarily modern or eye-catching. There's no pizzazz here. It's all just straight line. Nothing here screams exquisite or worthy or sophisticated. This is just simple. That's all this is. So I have to now to put this in an email and send it to him.
You know,
and I think Megan really wants to punch me at this point because she was like, "What do you want?" And I was like,
I can see that. I can see how you begin.
Okay, I don't like the house. I need to tell him something I do want. Well, I can come.
I think maybe you should do some sketching. You should look at some pictures of houses.
Have you seen my drawing?
I said sketching.
No.
So I think
There you go. Here's a picture. Whenever you were talking about this, is the first thing I thought of. Here you go. You're welcome.
I think Collin should at least utilize the tools that are recognizable to him, which in the first time thinking about it is definitely 100% Cubby.
That's true. That's true.
Here's the problem. Do I just do? So okay, so we do. I really need to send that to him. I was like, this is what we need. We need some Soviet space dogs.
There you go. He was talking about posters and colors, and the first thing that popped into my head were Soviet propaganda posters. So Aaron, it should be coming here in a minute. I just sent.
I think I got it.
Okay, it's the Soviet space dogs poster.
So
yes.
Look at those bold colors. Red and more red and
green. But see, here's the problem. Okay. So I tell him we have a dachshund. Now, do I want to use a profile view of the dachshund? Do I just want of his head? Do I then want it to be a round logo or stick with a square logo? Do I want it to be colored? Do I just want it to be solid? Do I want it to show eyes? How much detail?
You want it to be here's what you want. You want it to be a silhouette of a dachshund, the head on the left side, the tail on the right side. It can be slightly cartoonishly long, and you can have your name inside the silhouette of the dachshund.
That would have to be cartoonishly long.
I know.
And then it needs to say the People's Pet Care Service.
That's okay.
No. But
right inside there. You could do it. I mean, maybe like a little bit inside and then some below, right?
No.
Yeah.
Like the pet care service part on the bottom, and then the ducks in the middle with like the funky thing in the middle. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, see, I
got you.
I know. And then I'm trying
You're
to go like,
welcome.
I kind of like the Funky Bunch Pet Care, the Funky Bunch being a different weight, like different size than the Pet Care.
Yeah.
But if you go in a circle, it has to be all the same weight, right? You can't have.
Yeah, but that's why inside the dachshund it says Funky Bunch,
Yeah.
and then underneath in a script font, Pet Care, because that's elegant, like a dachshund, regal. Right.
Kind of when he wants to.
That's
be.
what he.
But then
Now you can have the tail like pointing up to add that balance to the side.
Here's also the problem. Like, yes, we predominantly do daycares and boardings for dogs, but we do take care of cats. So I don't want to exclude cat owners that see a dog and just subconsciously say, okay, well, they don't have a cat there, so they don't take care of cats. I don't want that to happen. But then I go, well, then I also don't want to have to include a bird and a hamster and a snake and crickets and whatever to just try and lump everybody in.
Yes, crickets. That's what it should just be. Only crickets.
Only crickets, just giant cricket. Do you have a cricket colony that you need help taking care of? First off, that's terrifying. Secondly, no. But here's my logo. It's a cricket. My only service is to walk in and go, you need help, and then I walk out.
That's true. Okay, yep, there's still crickets. Okay, bye.
So I'm really trying to like not drag this on into forever, but I am
working.
No, it's not working. I'm very worried that like I'm not going to like anything that he said. So I'm really trying to work on my descriptive words, And like, but I also don't want to send him logos that I also like because I don't want to copy people. So like I have been trying to look at other logos of people that I like, and it's tough because I really, really, really like just as simple as possible. At some point, I'm like, I don't even want a dog, cat, or anything in there. I just want Funky Bunch Pet Care to be in a different script and be done with it. But then I'm like, but it also needs to have more recognition. So I don't know. I go down these paths, and I'm not good at this. and Mike, if you're listening, thank you so much for all of the hard work that you're doing on this logo. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it because I have no skill in any of this whatsoever, and you're finding that out the hard way and having to deal with me in my edits. So thank you, and I'm sorry.
I like the Dachshund logo. I think it'd be dope. I'm gonna sketch that out for you. I'm gonna see if I can do that. Okay.
Well, I just sent y'all something. Maybe that'll help.
Man,
alleviate some of Colin's
angst.
fears. kind of putting
Yes.
two together.
Yes. Oh my God, Aaron, you've done it.
No.
This is perfect. I'm so impressed right now. I can't.
You're welcome.
I can't.
I try to think of the most obscure thing to type, and so my Google search history somewhere it says communist dachshund, and that pulled up. I was like, that's all right. If the meme gods allow it.
So let me, listeners, I'm going to describe this to you. I would like you to imagine the most Soviet thing you could think of. Yes, it's red and gold. There is a dachshund with a rising sun behind it. At the bottom, there is the raised Soviet fist, one of which is clutching a dog bone.
That's the best part.
And it says, no, my favorite part is the People's Pet Service.
Obey the dachshund.
I love it so much. And there's a little star. There's a little Soviet star with a dog print in the middle.
Yeah, I didn't. I typed that in Google and I was not disappointed. I was like, wow, okay.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Thanks. Yeah, Google. Preach.
Oh no.
I like it.
But that's the other thing too of like I don't want paw prints because paw prints are also everywhere.
Yeah, but you're in the pet industry. Sorry. But like
I know, but everybody has paw prints. Everybody has a dog and cat silhouette in a heart. Like I don't, and then I also don't want to be because some people were like, well, we had somebody illustrate us to
oh dear,
to drew cartoons of us with our.
I was about to say that. Whoops.
Like
that's
a caricature of Collin.
A caricature of Collin and Megan, and I was like, nope, not doing that because you talk about printing costs, you talk about level of detail.
It's true.
I'm also trying to think of something that can scale from a social media icon on somebody's phone up to
billboard,
a billboard. Right, that's what I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of something that can scale that. And when you start getting into more of like the emblem kind of thing, where it's like very ornate with lots of script and text and lines and things like that, like that does not scale small. And most of the people are going to see things small on their phones.
It's true.
So it needs to be as clean and simple and as straightforward as possible, but also being distinguished from other things. Now, these are all words that mean things. I have no bloomin' idea how it translates into actually creating something. So that's where this gets hard. It
sounds like you need to just stare at like mid-century modern Bauhaus things, right? Because that's what you want, right? That's the design aesthetic that you are going for, right?
Well,
mid-century modern Bauhaus,
want, right?
No, I know that's what I'm saying. And then you need to stare at those and try to figure out how to combine those simplistic design elements into the words.
Yeah, right? I'll just start sending him some mid-century modern chairs,
like
some pictures
like
and
a
chairs. And be
teapot.
like, can you use this for inspiration?
Like 1960s business logos, like
Yes.
those, you know.
Yeah.
There's like anything Swedish from that time, right? There's like,
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, right.
Tell them
because
to go to IKEA and then just
that's
walk
true.
around the store.
Send in the IKEA catalog.
Yeah.
Well, and so this is part of, as we're going to this, we're in a lot of these branding groups and branding classes, and they have you create. I'm not doing this, but like I probably will have to at some point, of creating branding guidelines as part of your brand mood board, where you take the words that you've used to describe your client, and like they don't just want like woman suburban mom. Like they don't want that. They want you to say like, well, just like whenever on Top Gear, when they would read the who drives this car, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the level they want. Of this person is a suburban mom who drives newer-ish Fords, SUVs. She has 2 kids. She shops at Target. She listens to whatever kind of, like, that's what they want you to do. And then they want you to find pictures that match that and the feeling words that you use to describe, so that anytime you create an image or a meme or something like that, you can put it next to these things and go, does this fit in with the rest of these pictures? If it doesn't, I throw it away and I try something new, and I go from there. It's so
That's insanity.
so much. But that's what people do to get brand consistency. So anyway, what I need to do is effectively just say, oh, and here's the other thing that you don't want to do. They tell you is don't do what you like, right? They don't want you to do something you like. They want you to create what your customers are going to like, which is very hard for me because I have a very particular taste and style that I want to come through here that doesn't really match my clients at all. And so it's very hard for me to do that. And then they don't want you to do things that are quote unquote trendy. So if anything is new or on the upswing right now, they don't want you to do that, because you're just going to have to rebrand later. So
well, that's true, right? You have to be
right.
Yeah.
For the so you're trying to nail this like timeless thing, and
that's why I've just sent you a collage of 1970s Scandinavian logos. You're welcome.
Okay. I'm sure that'll be great.
It's helpful.
Megan will be very up. See, like, yeah, like these kind of things. But like, so some of these.
See, look. See, you thought I was full of garbage. Look at that.
No, So, listeners, all of the things described in here, except for the things that Mike has been so wonderfully, thank you, Mike, so much for working on for me, and Megan, are not going to be included. But the things that Brandon and Aaron have been sending will be in the show notes. So you can check that out at obrotherpodcast.com / whatever title this episode's going to be. But so that's another decision that we have to make of, do you just want an actual picture, like a Starbucks logo or something like that? Or do you want to have the name of your company in there? Because that's 2 very different things. Some of these that you just sent me don't have the actual name of the company in them. It's a true logo at that point.
Logo. Yeah.
I kind of like having the name there, because then you can have both in some things and then just pull out a portion of the logo to use elsewhere. But I just it's hard.
Or do you want one of those things where it's just so like out of left field, people have to like, they see the image and then they like Google it and they're like, oh, this is a pet sitting company. So
nobody
they're just so intrigued by what's happening.
Terrified. Oh yeah. I'm gonna send you because this is what we're trying to this is what I'm still hung up on, This is a wonderful. This all this makes for wonderful podcasting. Us talking about visual.
It really does. All these images are really,
Sorry.
Sorry, listeners. The graphic design episode is a failure.
Yeah, anyway. But so the basic 7.
But listeners, you can follow along with me right now. I'm currently Googling mid-century modern posters and just looking at all of the excitement that is happening on my phone right now. I can't even contain myself. It's so good. There's a cat in an egg chair with one of those weird floor lamps next to it. I think that should just be Collin's logo. I think we're just going to give him that one.
There you go. Can we reuse that? We'll restyle it just a little bit.
I love it. Anyway, Collin is now going to be talking about the logos that we are familiar with, like Nike, CNN.
Yeah, so Disney
the Olympics.
Disney is what's known as a word mark, where the word itself has been stylized to look different and to be the actual brand. CNN is what they term a letter mark, where it's just letters, but again, it's those two are kind of related. A deviation from this is Nike. This is a combination mark where it has the brand name plus a simple symbol. Then you get into the emblem, think of in this example here is like Harvard, like that's a true emblem. Just the detail, it's very ornate. Then you get into the mascot or pictorial marks, where it's just an image or a drawing.
Yeah,
and then an abstract mark. The best example of this, I really like this one, was the Olympics, where the rings don't mean Olympics, right? They're just it's come to mean that. It's come to mean something that they've used. And so, I like more the combination mark, but then I'm like, but I don't know what just a pictorial mark would look like.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. So that's the other thing of I don't want to have to tell Mike, thank you so much, Mike. You're wonderful, Mike. Can you make me 7 different versions of following each one of these? Because I don't know what I don't know what a dachshund pictorial mark would look different than a dachshund combination mark versus a word mark. I don't know. I don't know. I will probably hate most of them, but I can't. I lack the creativity and brain space to create them, to think ahead of time, to think of what you are going to come up with. So, I cannot stand this.
Oh my goodness, this is
so frustrated. And
oh, it's so bad.
So anyway, this.
I think the best, for real solution incoming. Okay, ready? Here it goes.
Yeah.
Real live solution. Not necessarily solution, but something that might help is actually just, I don't want to copy things, but just save pictures of design elements that you do like and that the things that you are drawn towards, right? And just sort of save those and then just kind of look at them together, either in a slideshow. If you want to go really insane, you could print them out and hang them on your wall, make a little mood room, right? But but that way you can start to break down and visualize. Okay, well, I like, do you even something as basic as, do I want angular design or do I want more rounded design? Which do I think is more appealing in the style that I want, right? Do I want hard contrast colors? Do I want soft contrast colors? Right? Do you want a hard contrast like black and white? Or do you want a softer muted contrast, like an orange and a yellow or a blue and a purple or something like that? Right? Those basic elements, and then go from there. Because, yes, I understand that there are many cliche things in the pet industry, but the reason that they're there is because they signify the pet industry, right? So, I know that, because I'm the same way with a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh, You think about things like the paw print, the dog bone, blah blah blah. Boring. Okay, well, what else is there that signifies the pet industry but is different? Right? What's outside the box of those standard three things?
What about like some sort of pet collars? That way it's kind of more neutral with either dog or cat.
So
Just
how
put
do
like
you
one big and one
distinguish pet
little.
collars from? Are they just circles? Are they?
They would need
bowls?
so.
Are they?
I would say it would be like a. I can't think of the word right now because my brain has not officially turned on to like school mode, but like, yes, like a ring shape, but then you have like a pet tag hanging off, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'd be like an outline, and then there would be like the little D-link with some sort of thing hanging off of it, just a little bobble, like a circle to delineate color.
Well, so
or
here's the
something
problem
like that.
with that is that to me signifies, again, see, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Me, I just put it there. Here's the problem. Me.
That's fair.
To that maybe signifies that's more like walking. We do some walks, but we prefer not to do them. So I don't want to have it out there that we do walks.
But see, okay, so here's the thing. Your for your particular business, your logo needs a house. It just does. Because you pets sit in a house. Right? That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be like the logo that he had, just that outline thing. You could do a different one, a different shape of a house, whatever. But because your business is synonymous with pet sitting and occasionally house sitting, there needs to be a house. There just does. Right? Now, you don't have to put the pets in it, maybe. You could just say, like, Funky Bunch Pet Care with, like, a house thing in the background. But that does sort of delineate what you do. Like, it could be cliche. You might not like it. You could make it more interesting somehow. But that is what you do, though, right? Like,
I know, and that's
you bring
so
pets
hard.
to your house, or you go to their house.
Right.
This is what.
Oh yeah.
So you could come up with like a cool house shape, right? Like some sort of like Frank Lloyd Wright thing or something.
So that's I think that was where I got really disappointed in that the house itself. I think I need to focus on that and try and make the house
focus on that house
possible,
outline shape,
because I don't want it to just be. I don't want it to be so simple. Like I'm using that word to mean.
I know. But it sounds like what you're saying is I want a simple design, but not too simple, which is a really confusing sentence to tell a graphic artist.
It is. Like, I guess I need to say this. Like, I don't want, like, I think for me, I genuinely want something that I could not create on my own. What I got back is word art to me. Right.
That's fair.
I can, like, and no knock against that, because part of design is just taking pre-existing elements and combining them in new and interesting ways that nobody's thought of before. That's just part of it. But I don't want that. I don't, because I pulled up as we got these. I actually pulled up things that I had made on my own over the past couple weeks in this app called Canva, and I got really dang close to what he sent, which really, I think, really angered me. Because it was like I already thought of that and then wiped it away, and then because I was like, I'm going to know it when I see it, which is really frustrating, because in order to do that, I have to go through multiple iterations to get to that, which literally nobody likes. Like, nobody likes to work with the person that goes, what if, like,
what if you did it again? Right.
That just goes, I actually don't have the mental capacity to envision what if I would like this if the dog was green. I need you to make the dog green and then send it back to me. And then me respond with, actually, it wasn't the color of the dog, it turns out. It was the shade of the house. I think if we did
Yeah.
that differently, and then they'd give that back and they go, okay, it actually wasn't the shade of the house. What it was the line thickness. The house is too, like, I am really trying to push to keep that off, but I just feel myself slipping off that cliff, going like really becoming that person, and I don't want to. So at some point, I have it in my brain. I'm just going to have to say yes to something, whether I like it or not, just to make this stop.
I think, okay, here's my second for real idea. Okay, so you don't like the fact the logo is separated. Yes?
Right.
Number one? Okay, so I think if you do that, I think you should do the whole logo on the bottom. Now, I do like the different font weight idea. So like either, Funky Bunch or Pet Care or something, put those in different fonts. But they do need to be like one on top of the other. But then on the top, the house outline needs to be like a funky shaped looking house. Something that's identifiable as a house, but something that's like a little out there. Something like a 60s or 70s designed house, but it's also that way it's also longer.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not adding verticality to that logo.
Mm-hmm.
You're just keeping it longer. Because like Funky Bunch, not a short phrase necessarily. Especially if you do that particular font large. Right. And if you do it kind of blocky, that can be long. So the house on top of it needs to be long. So I'm thinking something like, the roof is slanted in a weird way. You know what I mean? It still signifies house, but it's like kind of different. Like, the asymmetrical roof line where it's like one side is real steep and the other side's real thing, or like it's a lot more flat, or kind of just the whole thing is angled kind of weird. And you could even put like a window or just an outline of some house feature. If you don't want any pets or anything in the house, then you could outline the house a little bit more, however you want, with just block, not like shading, but just like, here's vertical lines that represent the door or a garage or something like that, whatever. I would look at like mid-century houses, 60s houses, because they have like those weird kind of design elements that are just different enough. It's still a house, but it's like cool looking, you know what I mean? That way, it brings your logo down. It's not so tall and vertical. It doesn't take as much space. And then all the words are underneath it. Right. You could even do Pet Care in a nice script font. Not too unreadable, but like...
Right. Yeah, because some of those... Go ahead.
Yeah, or just like a nice font that's like... So
anyway,
yeah.
I sent you three that I had made, and I can't find the rest. But
yeah, that was yeah, okay, got you.
you can tell that like I have no idea like what I want.
Yes.
It's like I look at these and I go, I kind of like aspects of all of these, and you guys can attest to these are none of these are alike. None of these are very similar at all. Oh. So anyway, these are fun things.
Definitely. There you go. I found the house. I found it. I got it. Here it is. Boom. Nailed it. I just take the tree out of the front yard, obviously. But there. That's the house silhouette you need. Boom. Comes there. Done. Boom.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Design on the fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that roof line. Look at that roof line.
There's a house. There's seriously a house here in town that is very similar to that, and I can't tell you how much I love that house. I love it so much.
So I'm saying, you take that silhouette, you make that the house, and then underneath that, because it's big and long, one story basically, you can put your logo underneath. That way, it'd be all together.
Mm-hmm.
Kabam!
Yeah.
It says homie. It says we sit in houses, right? So there you go.
Okay. Well, thank you for visiting Graphic Design Corner.
Graphic Design Corner. If you're still listening, Sorry
Mike,
about that. I got a little...
Mike, thank you, Mike. Sorry, Mike, but thank you,
Mike.
immensely.
More ideas coming your way, buddy. So
I'm so sorry.
I got you.
So
I'm helping you deal with this crazy brother I have,
sorry.
so it's okay.
Anyway, that's what we're dealing with in my life
There you go.
right now.
That's good. That's fine. Well,
45 minutes.
I know that
later.
we had some. Well, here we go. Before we wrap up too much, I wanted to say I have found the best good news story ever
Oh,
for this week.
okay.
Okay.
Do this.
Okay. Are you ready? You might have heard this, but coming spring, the Girl Scouts have a new cookie.
Not heard this. What?
Oh, yeah. Girl Scouts are going to have a new cookie this next Girl Scout cookie season, which I think is in the spring, I believe. French toast.
Whoa.
What?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ow.
Looks like a little piece of toast. There's like frosting on it. What? I want it right now. This is what I'm saying. As like, oh yes. So, brand new Girl Scout cookies coming out in the spring. Don't know if I can make it that long because it sounds amazing. But like
some contraband, black market
contraband, like illegal Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You can get-
I read that yesterday. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, I'm in. So yeah, I don't know much about it right now, but I just saw
Did it give a
them.
release date?
It just said spring. It said early 2021.
Boo.
But it is French toast flavored. Here comes the CNN article at you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. There is your something to look forward to at long last.
there was much rejoicing.
Yeah, much
Yay.
rejoicing. Yeah, there it is. All right. Couldn't find both your names at the same time on the phone list. All right, but yeah.
Sorry.
So that was the thing I saw this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else happening this week. No, that was it.
No.
Just been at school forever.
Yeah, hopefully those things go more smoothly, more smootherish.
I very doubt it because school starts on Tuesday. So only unsmoothness from here on out, right? Tuesday's going to be a disaster. Well, not like disaster. The first day of school is always ridiculous. But now it's going to be like extra ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Ugh.
So we'll see. Did I tell you I made... I don't know if did I tell you last week about my ruler that I made?
Yes, your stick of context.
Yes. No. Yes. Yes, I did. It's all ready to go.
Okay.
Got it ready. Got my desk to move around. Basically, I still have a bunch of junk on my table, but I mean, there just is always junk on my table. So I figure, it'll be fine. They'll just need to get used to that being there and having stuff in the way because
Ignore this.
it's just what happens.
Yeah. It's just, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I can't. That's how it works.
Not going to change it.
No.
At least not right
No.
now.
It just never changes. The second I get it cleared off, I'm like, ooh, a space. But
For more things.
I end up putting like papers that are getting ready to be passed back on there. And
Sure.
project pieces get stuck on there. So like, it's like a staging table really is all I use it for.
Oh, yeah.
So
I always need a staging table. Good luck on that then. We can't wait to hear.
yeah.
Happens.
And we have our other 5th grade teacher is new this year. So it's her first year teaching.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay.
She's a little... What a world to come into.
Right? Like, oh no.
Hey, remember all those classes and all those years of education training that you took? A lot of that's not really going to apply or have prepared you for
not
this. So
not applicable anymore
at all.
because
so. you have been trained exclusively and very well, but exclusively for a world of education that doesn't really exist any longer.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the funny part, right? Because like, not funny, but like, there is a deep irony in the fact that like a lot of education recently has been going to things like flexible seating, right? Really emphasizing small groups and that kind of thing. And this year it's like, oh, actually, hey, by the way, because my friend, the other 5th grade teacher, the one that I'm real close friends with, right? Her classroom is like flexible seating. So there are no desks in that classroom. There are a series of tables, a little couch thing, some like bouncy chairs, those like yoga ball chair deals, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like a high, like cafe table thing, like a couple standing desks, right? She's got all this like different seating. There's a table with those little wobble stools, you know, for kids that like move around a lot. And like rolly chairs and stuff. She had to get rid of a bunch of that stuff. And at least like not all of it. She did have to move out some of her chairs because like the couch and some of that stuff, it's all soft surfaces, which they don't encourage right now. And just bring in like normal tables. So she's kind of like, what do I do? She's not loving it.
Yeah.
You know, I do like tons of group work.
Yeah.
So like I don't gotta figure that out. Not at first, right? But there are, because at the beginning we don't do too much. There is one thing though. One of my first deals is a partner project, so we're gonna talk about that. You know, gotta wear your mask and stuff if you're gonna be partners, because you gotta do that. Maybe even your they bought everybody face shields. Right, you seen that picture earlier this week?
Yeah.
So we all, students and staff, have these these like cool little face shield things.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we're gonna be partners and be close to each other, we need to wear that too, because we gotta be safe and everything. So this will be interesting. Try to limit that.
Oh yeah.
So that's for like small group collaboration, flexible seating, different. All these things are like, no, actually, you can't do that now. Like, I built my class around this, and now it's like, just kidding.
Yeah, no, totally. This is what we want. This is what, because it's everybody made those moves to make situations and the classroom setup that would actually be better for the students, and everyone went all in on that. And now you're like, ooh, all those training methodologies actually, like, we still know that they're the best way to do this, but
but you can't do it now.
Can't.
Yeah. That's the hard part. Like, I don't have like flexible seating, right? Because I just not really ready for that step. Mostly, I'm not ready to get all that stuff. I don't really want to deal with a lot of it. So I have desks. I just have normal standard desks, but a lot of our work, when it's time for independent or group work, doesn't take place at the desk, right? We can sit on I have like I have a couple extra tables and the floor. I had carpet squares; those are shelved for now. Right, all that stuff like pillows and everything. That's all put away currently. So we would sit there. So we do a lot of work not at our desk. We're on the floor, we're on the benches, we're on the tables and stuff with our partners, or by yourself. Some people want to sit over there. Some people want to sit at their desk. Some people want to lay down on the floor and work, right? Just creating an environment where you are comfortable and what suits your needs at that time.
Sure.
But now it's like, I mean, some of that's still good because we can spread out, right?
You need space, yeah.
But it's still not ideal in a lot of situations because it doesn't go, because we do a lot, especially in science. There's a lot of collaborative learning happening. So I mean, especially not at first, but there are a few things that are like, well, can I do that, or do I need to skip that right now and just
Right.
do something else? Like,
Yeah, how do we adapt that or put it on the chopping block for now?
yeah, just put that on the chopping block and see if I can do some of my bigger projects later. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? What does that look like? Because you know, my first unit is like scientific methodology. You know, so we have a couple like experiments that we do, but like I don't know. We can do all those. We might skip one because it's not real great, and it's just kind of like practicing filling out a table and a graph. So like we could do that later, or I guess I could just give them the data and say table, like, but it's not as fun when you can't find your own
Yeah, no.
stuff. But might have to just do it the other way around now.
Yeah,
So
you may have just to get it it
yeah,
done.
to get the practice in, but not actually do the collection part. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
Yeah, lots to see in the coming weeks. So look forward to seeing how all that pans out for you.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Well,
but man, after months of sitting at home and not doing anything, getting up and going to work, you know, before like 7:30 every day is like, oh, I did.
Well, yeah, your body's like, what are we doing?
My body's like, whoa, what are you doing?
We've never done that before. We're not going to do that today.
Yeah.
What are you?
I've done that a while.
Yeah.
So that's been. Blah.
Well, best luck to you and your body then. Sounds like
yeah, thanks.
Oh goodness. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and
give it a shot.
Talk to you again real soon.
Yeah.
In a week. Wink.
Yeah, wink. All right.
Nobody will.
Nobody will ever know. Shh, totally fine.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.